Hello, Shlender, can you hear me? Hello, good afternoon. Good to see you. Good to see you too.
Good afternoon, sir. Good to see you.
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
sir.
Great. I'm sorry for yesterday. I was traveling and, the internet resources were quite limited. Signal was very weak. So great. We're definitely going to make up that deficiency today and lectures after. Okay. Any question from yesterday? Any question, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So I was asking any question, so there is no question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's start with it then. Let me share my screen. So let me take this start by discussing this grid thing we were doing last time, right? So once we want to make our view responsive, so CSS has this add media for that. So it is saying add media only screen and max width of 600 pixels. Means that the style is being given within these braces, starting here and ending over here. This style will only be applicable for screens whose maximum width is 600 pixels. So if the screen width is more than 600 pixels, then this style will not be applicable, right? So now we have to think about this thing, that what do we want to do for screens less than 600 pixels. So we thought, okay, we want to do one thing, and that thing is that that we have to have 2-column screen instead of 3-column screen, number one, right? Are you getting me? And then since we have 2 columns instead of 3 columns, so rows should be more. So instead of having 4 rows or 3 rows, we are going to have 5 rows now, right? And width is again 100%, because if your screen is maximum, smaller size, then you need not to leave blank spaces on the sides, right? Make sense? Right? So here we give only those styles, which would be applicable less than or equal to 600 pixels. Rest of the styles which we have already given up there, those are applicable. But these are the styles which would be overriding these styles for screens less than or equal to 600 pixels, right? And then we said, okay, width is 100%. And then, main image deviant, previously main image deviant was sitting in 2 columns. We said, okay, you also contain yourself, you sit in 1 column only, right? And then, this list deviant, it was sitting in the 3rd column. Now we said, okay, you sit in the 2nd column, right? Not in the 3rd column. And then, such things, which we wanted to do for this size screen. And if the screen size is less than or equal to 400 pixel, then, fall back to 1 column only, right? Then fall back to 1 column only. Any question, guys? You must ask questions. Okay, great. So this is something we did, right? And then, so this makes our entire website, responsive. So one thing is flexible, and that we do by using flexible font size and flexible widths. For example, percentages like percentage, 100% or 20% or 10% instead of hard-coded pixels. And then we make it responsive by using media query. Any questions so far, guys? Okay, let me admit him. Okay, great. So having said this thing, so we made this grid design. Now I will definitely check your homeworks as you have sent them to me, but I will love to see at least a few designs which you have made yourself, just to discuss them and to give you suggestions so that everybody can hear it. So especially if someone thinks that he or she has made a great design, please go ahead and share it with me. Let me stop share. and security, and I'm allowing you to share your screen. So please go ahead. Who wants to share their screen and show us the homework, last homework? Shilinder, would you like to do it?
I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, you are sharing. Okay, great. Go ahead. Manthan is doing it.
Yes.
Okay, please. Okay, great. So, very good. So there is one thing I wanted to have. Okay, I did not tell, but let's make a border around it, right? Why don't we make a border around it, right? So go ahead and make a border around it. Let's see. And one thing is missing, my dear. That
Yeah.
background color is missing, right? Why don't you give the background color first?
Actually, I set image in background. That's why I did not.
Yeah. You set image in the background. So please show me the code, the CSS code. Okay, great. Let me ask. Let me ask for the remote control. Okay, thank you very much. So let me just, can you just expand the font size a little bit? Enlarge the font size a little bit? Control plus will work, I believe.
No.
Command plus will work.
Command plus will work. Yeah, this is Mac, I just noticed. Yeah, great, thank you. So let's see, what did you do here? So he has made a great container over here with a width of 633 pixel, height this much. Okay, one thing. Why would you fix width and height both?
Because also image size.
Okay, yeah, definitely it is good. But what if you just, if you just do this thing, that comment this, let me give it a try. It's not allowing me. So let's comment these two. Great, thank you very much. And oh, no, don't go over here. Just go back. And let me see your HTML, please.
Okay.
And in HTML, if you see that you have grid container, right? And then where is the image?
So I set image in background, sir. In the
Oh, you
CSS.
have set the image as background. Okay,
Background.
okay.
I give
Okay,
URL.
okay, got it. So why would you put images in the background? I don't want image in the background. I want image to be separate, right? Like image. Okay, now
Or in the HTML, right?
in HTML, I want HTML image.
That's the thing.
Okay, so how to make? Okay, let's see who has made it an HTML image, please. Okay, let's see the page. Go back to the page and see what has happened to it. Reload it, and it would be tiled probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not tiling. It is actually kind of weird now. You're right. So once you have that pixel, background image, then it can behave like this. So that is the reason that I don't want it to be background image, right? Anybody else wants to share? Please stop share, and I will tell you that how to do it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, who wants to share?
I want to share.
Go ahead.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see the view first in the browser.
Yeah, sir. Just a minute.
Okay, you are not running a server, right?
No, sir, I am not running a server.
Please run a server, right? I would strongly suggest
sure,
this
sir.
thing.
Sure.
Okay, let me see the code.
Yeah.
So you are using Visual Studio Code.
Yes, sir.
Good. I like it.
And I like it.
You like it too?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. This is a better environment. But I use it, once I need to have certain dependencies. Otherwise, it sits a little bit heavy on my memory and, makes things a little bit slow. So I just want to stay away from it once I'm not doing Ionic or Angular development, you know.
Yes, sir. This is the HTML code.
Okay, let me see. So this is okay. So you are also using background image?
Yes, sir. In CSS.
Oh, okay. Anybody not using background image? Kamalesh,
Yes, sir.
you are using background image also?
Yes, sir. Background image in CSS.
Oh, okay.
I tried,
Okay.
sir, in HTML. It was not coming. So,
So it
then
was not a very hard try, I believe, right?
Yes.
Once you are learning something, so the try is like at least 5-6 hours. And then I say, okay, you tried it. Okay. Okay, so who is this? Sanket, is this you? Sharing the screen?
Shall I stop?
Okay. No, don't stop.
Okay.
All right, so let me ask request for remote control. Request. And thank you very much. So, okay. So here, he has made, please open the HTML. So this is the HTML, right? And he has made these 27 divisions. So we don't want to have 27 divisions, right? So, okay, you stop share. You stop share and let me go back to who shared it before Sanket.
Mantam.
Okay, yeah, please go on. You share it back. Okay, so item, great. And let me see your HTML also. This is your HTML. Okay, great. So he is running this HTML and just a minute. So let me ask remote control. So he has these divisions, right? Item 1 is having a, okay. So why are you having these empty divisions? Huh? Don't put empty divisions. Place your divisions with grid, right? So I'm eliminating these empty divisions. Don't let me break your code by deleting wrong thing. So I'm deleting these empty divisions. Right? Okay. Where is the rest of the empty? Where are the rest of the empty divisions? Maybe delete this one also. And then delete this, okay? So save it. Okay, let's see now your code would be broken, right? Because I have eliminated the empty divisions, right? So I have saved it. Show us in the browser now. Right, so basically it is broken, right? So let's see how can we repair it back. So A, B, C, okay, so characters are complete, A, B, C, D, E, GHI. Right, good, great. So go back to the editor, right, great. And now we want to, okay, this is, so did you take the control back from me? No, it is,
No.
I'm having it, okay, don't worry. So this is item 1, right? This is, say, for example, item 2. Say this is item 3. Say this is item 4. Say this is item 5. Say this is item 6. Say this is item 7. Say this is item 8. And this is item 9. Save it. Okay, great. Where is the CSS? Please open the CSS. So here, okay, first thing is back. Okay, let's remove the background image. We don't want background image, right? Remove it. Can you comment it, please? It is not allowing me to comment. Okay, you can just put the cursor over there also. You need not to select it all. Okay, so display is great. Okay, gap. So this is, what is this gap?
Uh, Gap between grid.
So it is known as grid gap, I believe. There is nothing like gap. Did it
So
show?
both.
Does it work?
Yes, sir.
I don't think so. So grid gap, my dear. There is nothing like gap. Okay. So probably it was ignored, right?
Okay.
So basically it is grid gap and grid template columns. So you have 9 columns, and grid template rows, you have 3 rows. Very good, right? So this container is good. So now we have this item. So item is background white and opacity this much, font weight this much, right? And background, so let's give it some background, maybe some RGBA, right? So maybe 205, comma 205, comma 205, comma 0.5, right? So I wanted it to be like translucent. Oh, you have controlled it with opacity, right? Okay, great. Okay, let's remove it. Need not to have it now once we have given it over there. Okay, font weight, okay, bold, font size 50 pixel. Okay, I don't like this hard font size, right? So maybe you should give it in M's, right? EMM or RAM or use VW, right? But for now, I will keep it like this. Okay, text align center, right? Very good, great. So once you have done so, now where is the image? So let me put the image first, right? So let me put the image first. So let's do one more thing, and that is that we set its width to 100%. Right? So its width is 100%. Okay, great. So let me go back to the grid container. So my dear, this I'm doing live coding with you, and the sole purpose, I could have brought, pre-written code for you and, try to explain it to you. But the reason that I live code with you is that so that you can understand that how do we actually code, right? Once a developer sits on his terminal, how would he or she code, right? So this is important. So we come over here, right? We come over here, and here we make a division. And we decorated the class main image, right? So this is the main image. And within the main image, let's create an image tag. And what is source? What is the name of your file? Please put the name of the file over here. Grid.jpg, right? So if you want, you can put the alternate text. This is always a good practice from SEO point of view, that you give an alternate text, right? Plus, it helps, for example, if somebody cannot see, they have compromised VN, this alternate text would be, read to them. Once, this figure will show up, or this image will show up, this alternate text will be read to that person, right? Screen readers will read that alternate text, right? That there is an image with this detail, right? Okay. And if you are unable to get the image, then this alternate text would be shown instead. So give some alternate text, maybe grid image. So use img because img is the tag name also, so use img. Otherwise you will be in this issue that, hey, whether I wrote img or I mag or whatever, right? So img, right? So grid image. Very good. So let's place this grid image first of all. So we come over here and we say that this main image, right? Copy, take me to the CSS file. Great. So we come over here. We say dot, put the class name, main image, right? Thank you very much. Great, thank you. Okay, so main image, and we say that grid column, right? Grid column 1/10, right? So this is sitting where, starting from 1 and going up to column number 10, right? And then we say grid row 1/4, right, guys?
Right.
So basically grid column 1/10, grid row 1/4, right? So it is going to sit in the entire grid, right? It is going to sit in the entire grid, right? So once we have set this thing, then we'll come back over here and we say dot main image space image. Your width is 100%. Right, that image is going to fit in its container, right? And Control S. And if we have not made any spelling mistake, hopefully it should put the image in the entire place, right? Please go over there and refresh the screen, right? So image has gone in its space, right? Image has taken the entire space, right? Now we want to put these individual divisions, right? Items at their places, right? So go back over there in CSS and go down, go at the end, go at the very end of the file, enter, and here dot item 1. Yes, so here we'll write grid column 1, right? Semicolon, and grid row 1, right? Semicolon, save it and see that this first letter has gone to its place.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So this first letter has gone to its place, right? So now send the second letter to its place, please. Maybe do one more thing. Here, instead of 0.5, use 0.8. Item, yeah, very good. Thank you. Save it. Now place item 2. Maybe copy this entire thing. This, this one. Very good. And item 2, right? And grid column, it should be grid column 2 and grid row 2, right? And then paste back. You want to check? Okay, great. Yeah. So basically they are trying to sit together, but there is some issue, I can see that issue. So let's see what is that issue. Okay, keep on doing, enter. So for 3, Save it. Okay, yeah, please do for each one of them. No. Here you have got it wrong. So here it should be row 2.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2.
No.
And
Column would be advancing.
Okay, column 4 and row 1,
Row,
right?
right? Row 2.
Row.
So it is go 1, 2, 3, and then go back 2, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Save it. Yeah, 5. And grid column 5. Column would be 5 now. And row would be 1, right? 6. Column would be 6. Row would be 2. Very good. Very good. Now you got the point. Good. Save it. And 9. There. Okay. Yeah. Save it. And now let's see what has happened. Okay. Now they are sitting as we wanted them to sit, right? There is one small issue. Definitely if you want to put these characters in their center of the spaces, that can be done, and that can easily be done. And this is something I'm going to show you today. But there is one more thing which you should. So once you are doing CSS, you must have at least one of your eye as the eye of the designer, right? So if you look at this thing from the eye of a designer, what is the defect you can see over here? No? Can you enlarge it a little bit? Can you see that something is bleeding out?
Grid size.
Yes, sir, the third row.
Difference.
Yeah, third
is it
row is bleeding out, right? Third row is bleeding out of the image. Can you see this thing?
Yeah.
So now how to deal with this issue?
The grid size also are different, sir.
Grid size is different. What do you mean by grid size is different?
Like the box.
What do you mean by box?
Like the size of the each element is different.
Yeah. Each
Size of
division.
each element means, oh yeah. So you do one thing, go back over there. Yeah, this can be solved very easily. Go back in CSS. What should we do? Auto means that fit the size according to the size of the contents, right? So now you have to give 1FR. So instead of auto, right, you say 1FR.
Yeah.
Right here, instead of auto, delete auto and say 1FR, save it, and reload. So that issue has gone, right? That issue has gone, right? So now the deal here is that this is bleeding out. So how to get rid of this bleed out problem? Yes. It is still bleeding out.
Yeah.
So this
Yes,
is again the
because
same.
of image
What?
size.
Huh?
Image size.
Image size. What should we do with the image size? Go back.
Repeat.
Go back to CSS. Go to the grid container.
So box model,
Huh?
box size.
The box model is not here because we are not doing any padding or border, right? Once you do border or padding, then it is going to play its role, right? Enter.
Overflow.
And here
Overflow.
No.
Okay.
Good. I'm happy that you guys are at least trying to do it, right? So what should we do?
So if we are using grid, we can't use box model, no?
We can use box model still.
We can, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, you know, we can say font size 0. That notorious enter is still giving us problem, guys, right? So write font size 0. Right? Please write font size 0 and go down.
Or
0. Once you give 0, no pixel, nothing required, right? And then when you go to item, it has a font size of 50 pixel, which is perfectly all right. Save it and reload it.
yeah.
Right? It is
Right.
no more bleeding.
Right.
Right? No matter what size you give. Right? So this is very important, that this enter sign, it causes trouble all the time. And once you see, once you're expecting that, hey, everything should fit in, and there's a bit of thing which is bleeding out, always remember this enter is some notorious, you know, playing some notorious role, right? So get rid of this thing. Got the idea? Any question? Okay. So once this is done, right? Once this is done, now I'm happy that now you know grid, and you have seen this thing also, that how to put one item on top of other in grid, right? So this, you know, by using this effect, you can produce some beautiful things, right? Rest of it is design. You know, how do you want to design? This is your own imagination, or maybe imagination of your designer, right? But whatever, you know, under the umbrella of grid, I have mentioned it to you. One more thing I believe that I need to mention in grid, and that is grid area, but maybe I will use it in one of the projects I will do with you, and then I will discuss it with you, okay? Any questions so far? Okay, please stop share, and I hope that you have got this idea that how to do this thing, right, everybody? Okay, so let me share my screen and continue with Flex, right? So last time we started with Flex, and let me continue with it. Okay, so let me close this file. So this, let me remove this also. And this was something we were doing about Flex. So this was HTML. So the deal here is that we said that where is this? What is this? No, we don't want this. Okay. Let me open Flex thing. Going flex.html. And basically, this is our Debian, which is Flex container. And Flex container has various items, right? So every item has an image, and then it has a heading, and then it has a paragraph, right? Very standard thing, right? And then we have a lot of them, and we come back over here in browser. They are sitting like this. Why are they sitting like this? Because we said that the Flex container is having the display of Flex, right? And it's okay. Let me remove this one also, right? So just by saying, say for example, if I remove it, I don't say that it displays Flex, right? If I don't say it displays Flex, you can imagine that how they are going to sit now. How they are going to sit now. So they are going to sit like on top of each other, right? They are going to sit on top of each other, right? But once I say that the container has a display of Flex, right? Container has a display of Flex. It means that they are going to sit according to the direction of Flex, right? They are going to sit according to the direction of Flex, and Flex direction by default is horizontal, right? Flex direction is by default what? flex direction is by default horizontal. So this is the reason that they are sitting horizontally, right? Let me do one thing, and let me come over here in HTML and let me remove some of the items, right? I want to remove a few of items. So if I remove some of them, maybe 2 of them, save it, come back over here, reload, right? You can see that they are sitting, next to each other. Now deal here is that they are like how many items? 1, 2, 3, 4 items, and they are sitting jam-packed to each other, right? If I make them 6, for example, right? Now they are 6, right? So let me show you that once they are 6, all 6 of them will sit jam-packed to each other, right? Now, if you want to give them some particular size, right? Say, for example, let me revert back and, okay. So let me remove them and let me go back over here. Now they are again 4, right? And they are sitting next to each other. So say, for example, I want to have some gap, some space in between them, etc., right? How can I manage it? So I can come back over here and I say, where is that? That every item, your width is, say, for example, 20%. Right? Your width is, say, 20%, right? So once I'm going to assign 20% width, means that this is 20%, this is 20%, this is 20%, this is 20%. So total would be 80%, and rest of them would go into gaps, right? And those gaps we can manage that. How do we want to put those gaps, right? Reload it, and now you can see that they are sitting next to each other again, but with some, there is a gap at the end, right? Now we have to tell Flex that how do we want to have this gap, right? Now we want to tell Flex that how do we want to have this gap. So we come over here and we say, hey, Flex container, justify contents, your space is around, right? Justify contents and your space is what? Your space is around, right? So let me show you. What does it mean? Reload it. Something is broken. It is contents, not content. Justify. Okay, let me do it by auto suggestion so that I don't misspell. Justify content, right? So it is justify content, and this is, say, for example, I want to pick space around, right? Save it. And go back, reload, and you can see that the space has been distributed equally around the items, right? So we can do one more thing, just to give it further good look. We can come over here. We have already given box model. So here we go to flex container and we give it a padding, right? We say padding top, maybe 20 pixel, and padding bottom may also be 20 pixel. Save it, reload, right? So now you can see that they have started looking better, right? So we can do one more thing. We can do one more thing. We can say, so say, for example, if we want to have justify contents with some other parameter. So say, for example, we come over here and we say justify content space between, right? save it, and reload. Now you can see that they are sitting equally gap between them, but the end spaces are gone, right? So basically space between only, no end spaces, right? So if we want to control end spaces some other way, so we can give padding, for example. So for example, I can remove these two and I can say padding maybe top and bottom 20 pixel, and left and right maybe 40 pixel. Save it. Reload it, right? And now they are sitting according to our requirement. Can you see this thing? Do you understand, what do we mean by this, right? So let me do one more thing. Let me go ahead and put some more divisions here, right? Say, for example, I come over here, not here, in my editor, an HTML file, and copy all these various divisions. So these are like 4 of them, right? Control C, and maybe have 4 more. Control V, save it, reload it. Can you see this thing that now they are again, crumpled up, scrunched together, right? Sitting next to each other. Why? Because by default, if we don't mention this thing that they are supposed to wrap around, right? They will not wrap around by default, right? So by default, they will try to sit next to each other, try to get their, proper space, which is 20%. But since, there are so many items, so none of them is taking their proper space, right? So if we want them to take proper space, we can come over here in the container, come back in the container, and in the container we say that wrap, maybe flex wrap, right? Flex wrap. So by default, it is no wrap, right? So we say, hey, you guy, wrap, right? So once we say wrap, so see what is going to happen. Reload it, and now you can see that they are taking their space and they are wrapping around. Though the top, has taken 5 because it thought that, okay, this is like 25, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. So this makes the 100%. So I can sit here, right? I can sit here, and then 3 will go down. But if you want 4 of them to sit there, you can, do a little bit of trick here, and very simple. You can come back over here, and instead of having 20% size, make it maybe 21% or maybe 25%. Save it. Maybe 21% will do it work, right? Save it, Control S, and let's go back, reload it. Right now you can see that they are sitting next to each other, right? Sorry, not sitting next to each other, they are sitting in proper places. So if you don't like it, you can always come back here. So look, once I'm doing CSS, I feel as if I'm cooking, right? So as you cook, you put one spice in it and another spice, and then you taste it, right? And see that if it does not taste good, you put some other spice. Who cooks food for you guys? Kamlesh, do you cook here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is how do you cook,
Yes.
right? So you put one spice, another spice, and then taste it, right? And if it does not taste good, you put some more, right? Okay, so this is exactly we do CSS, right? And once we are doing CSS, we must be in a very good mood, right? Like we should not be in a hurry. Rather, whenever you are coding, you should not be in a hurry. You should be in a very fresh mood, right? Very happy mood, and then you do coding. Otherwise, entire code would be a mess. So I come back here and I say that, hey, you item, you have a margin of bottom of maybe 20 pixels, right? So bottom margin of 20 pixels, save it, reload it. Now you can see that this gap is here, and you can control the gap as you want, as you desire, and you have got this perfect, good flex box. Any question, guys? So I was doing with Kamlesh. Kamlesh, would you like to share your screen with us?
Sure, sir.
Let me stop share.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Oh, no. Who I was coding with? I was coding with Sanket probably.
Mantam.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, go on. You unshare your screen, please?
Yes.
And yeah, Sanket, please, you share. Manthan, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you please share your screen. Sorry, I forgot who I was coding with. Okay. So for example, let me show you a little bit of example. So say we want to put all these, show us the screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing.
No, show us the browser, browser, right? So say for example, we want these guys also sit in the center, right? So basically, instead of being at the top, we want them to put them in the center, right? So let me see the code, the HTML first. Okay, one more thing I don't like over here is that I don't like to put text directly into divans, right? So please go over here in this item 1, within item 1, right, and wrap it around a paragraph, right, and do it for all of them. It was E, probably it was E. Control Z.
Yeah.
It was E, right?
Right.
So it is A, right, and then it is E.
Actually, we did wrong, sir. That's why A E I.
Okay, don't worry. So keep them like this. So or you want to change, you can change it. I thought that you placed them like this. Tab. So sometimes people don't mind, they will put text directly into the division, but I don't like it. I want to put text in paragraph or, some element which is meant for text. Reload it, please. Right, so have you reloaded?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now the deal here is that we want to put these, in the center of the box, right? So we come back over there, right, and go to CSS. Go to CSS of the page. Yeah, okay. And where you see the item, right? So this is the item, right? Go back, yeah, item. So in the item, you are saying text align center. Remove this text align center. And rather here say, hey, you item, your display is flex. Right? Hey, you item, your display is flex. Enter. Enter. Here say justify content center. Enter. Go back, save and go back. So it should be like this because we have said that, justify content center. And then here say align items. So look, once this is the flow of the flex, so justify is going to work in this direction, right? And align is going to work perpendicular to it, right? And we say align contents, align items, right?
Center.
Align items center. Save it and go back, reload it, right? And they are, sitting in the center. So these days, display flex is the best way to center the things up. Right? Before flex, it was quite a bit of nightmare to actually center the things up. But no more, right? We can do it very easily.
Sir, with Flex, we can not only set the image to center, but also text, right?
Yes, everything, anything.
Okay.
Right? So this is exactly what we have done right in front of you. Have you got the idea, guys? Any question? Any question? Okay, so this was something about flex, but fortunately we have something more. And please stop share your screen so that I can share it. So let me take you to a website to master up flex. So the site is Flex, I think it is Flex Firgi. Let me check. Yeah. Oh no, this is Facebook. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. CSS. Sometimes, Okay.
Flex fits.
Huh?
Flex fits.
No. Just a minute. So I was thinking that Google will help me, but no problem. So let me see. CSS, display, flex, frog. Yes, flexfroggy.com. Okay, so now this is something, and this is very interesting actually. So we have this frog, which we want to put it on this lily pad, right? So the deal here is that, look, this this pond is already decorated with display flex, and we want to put this frog over here. So how can we put it? Please tell me. So basically, if we want to settle like this, so it is justify content, and what should we mention? Flex and, right? So once we say flex and, so this frog will go and sit on this lily pad. Got the idea? Okay. Now we have these two frogs and we want them to be placed at the lily pads. What can we do? Tell me.
Justify content center.
Very good, right? So we'll say justify content center, right? Great, excellent. Okay, now
Justify content start.
so justify content start is by default, my dear. So it is they would be like this.
Justify content space around.
Space around, right? You can see that there is like space around them, right?
Around every one
So,
of them.
so justify content space around, right? Got it? Yes, now? Ankit?
Space between, I think, sir.
Space between. Yes, you're right. So
One after
justify,
one. One after one. Yeah.
justify content space between, right? Okay. Now,
Baseline. Justify content.
yes. Yes, please.
Line items.
Align items, right? So now it would be align items which will work. So we'll say align items, align items,
Flex
where?
end.
Align item is going to take these parameters: flex start, flex end, center, baseline, and stretch, right? So it would be
Flex end.
flex end, right? Very good. Flex end, right? Very good. So this is something I just did for you, right? So we'll say justify content what?
Center.
Center, very good.
Align items center.
Align items center. Huh? What is wrong? Justify content, align items. Did I do some wrong spellings? This should be semicolon, right? So CSS is very sensitive, right? Always remember, right? So basically justify content center, align items center. Okay, now, yes, please.
Justify content.
Justify content
Space around.
Space around.
space
Align
around,
item, baseline.
right? And
Align item baseline.
align items,
Baseline.
not baseline, my dear, flex end,
Flexion.
right? Baseline is that, you know, you align the text line. So what is that? Align items, flex
Flex end.
end, right? Very good. Okay, now this is something to do with flex direction. So normal direction is this row, but if we want to have row reverse, so it would be reverted, right? So it would be row reverse, right? And then direction could be column and column reverse also, right? So for example, we can come over here and we say flex direction
Row reverse.
row reverse, right? Flex direction row reverse, right? So see, without it, it is like this. But once we say row reverse, means that start from the other side and in the reverse order, right? So row reverse, right, guys? Flex direction, what is the issue?
Semicolon.
Semicolon. And next. So what was the issue? Anyways, so here, you know, what would be the flex direction? Flex direction column, right? So once you make flex direction column, right? So justify content would be in this direction and align item would be in this direction, right? So let me see if it allows me to write here. Otherwise, I will do it in, maybe I will do it in next. puzzle. So here, you know, what should we do? Now, tell me. Yes.
Flex direction.
Flex direction,
I guess reverse, row reverse.
row reverse, right? And
Justify.
justify content,
Flex end.
flex end. Very good.
Sir, can we also do float left here?
Float left will work, but you know, float is old technique. So
Okay.
we use float typically in the case when we want to have an image and text to flow around it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't see to use float anywhere else, right? I use most of the time flex. This is the latest technique, right?
Okay.
So basically, you can see justify content, flex end, and it will do this. Okay, now, yes,
Flex direction.
flex direction.
Column.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir, because it is in column.
Reverse column.
Yes. No, reverse now, because red should be down there, right? So if we say column reverse, right, you can see that, you know, their order would be different, right? Red will come up. We don't want red to come up, right? So flex direction column, but we can fix it by
Justify content.
justify, because now this is the axis of flex direction, right? So here, not align items will work, but justify content will work, right? So justify content.
The end. So flex end.
Flex end.
Flex end. Flex end. Right? Great. You guys are doing so great. Very good. So now what should we do?
Same flex direction.
Flex direction. Flex direction.
Column. Column, then I guess reverse.
Column. C-O-L-U-M-M-N. Column. Would it work?
Reverse, I guess.
No, reverse.
Column reverse.
Definitely column reverse, because we want red on the top and green at the bottom, right? And then what?
Justify
Justify
content,
content.
space between. Space between.
Say space between. Yes, very good. Justify content, space between, right? They are beautifully sitting at their pads. Okay, now
Flex direction.
okay, flex direction. Yes.
Row reverse. Row reverse.
Row reverse. Okay, very good. Now
Align item center.
align items center. Very good. No, would it work? Let's see. Align items.
Flex end.
Was it center or flex center?
Flex end.
Flex
Oh,
center. Flex end, you said. Yeah, I'm sorry. Flex end. Okay. Now, yes, this is good. Flex end. Now do what?
Justify content.
center.
Yes,
Justify.
justify
Content. Center.
justify content center, right? Are you understanding it?
Yeah.
Any issue? Very good. Now, What's wrong here? What they are trying? Okay.
Order.
So order, yeah. So basically, we have this red frog sitting on the yellow and yellow on the red, right? So we need to push. So order works with flex as it worked for grid, right? So for this yellow frog, we want to give it a higher order. So yellow, we say your order is 10, right? Your order is 10, right? So it will go and sit after it. Have you got it? Any question? Any question, guys?
Why 10?
So yeah, good question. So by default, order is 0, right? So 1 will also work, but normally we give orders in increments of 10, right? So that if we have to insert something in between, so we have margin for that, right? So sometimes people will give order even in hundreds, right? 100, 200, 300, so that if we have other elements to slip in, right, later on dynamically coming items, so we should be able to do so. Got it?
Yeah.
Sanket, you have a question, my dear?
No, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Who is SAP? Okay.
Yes, sir.
SAP? So why don't you put your right name? Okay, it's all right. I've seen you, no problem. Take care. Okay, Bharat is here. Okay, great, good. So let's come back here. Please, people, all of you must participate in this exercise, right? The more you will participate, the more you will learn. Okay, now what is the issue? So we want to do what? We want to put red frog at the beginning. So we do what?
Order.
Hey, your order is?
-10.
-10, very good, right? Great. Now we want to put this yellow frog on this pad, right? So here, so the deal here is that previously we were giving this CSS on the container. Now it is the time that we are giving to the individual item, right? So yellow, you align yourself at the flex end, right? So align self. So we say align, and this is giving in the yellow frag decoration. So align self, flex end, right? The rest of you will not move, but only the yellow frog will go and sit at the yellow pad. And might this think that this is being given in the CSS of yellow. Right, Shilinder, you have a question, my dear?
No, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Right, have you got it? Okay, great. So let's go next. What do we want here?
Order 30, align self, flex end.
Okay, so basically again we are going giving this thing to yellow. So we say, hey, yellow, your order is 10, right? Typically 10, because rest of them by default is having order of 0. And then you align self to flex end, right? Right, guys? Okay, great. Okay, now what's happening here is that we have how many frogs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they are unable to take their proper space. Why?
It's not wrapped properly.
Because it is not wrapped properly. Yes, so we will say, hey, display flex, your wrap is, what was the keyword? Wrap, right? So wrap.
No, sir. Flex wrap Flex wrap.
Yeah, flex wrap, you're right. Flex wrap and you wrap, better wrap,
Flag.
right? So once they will wrap, right, so they will take their proper spaces, and once they are going to take their proper spaces, they are going to sit properly. Any question, guys? Should we move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, once again, they are not taking their proper spaces, number one. Number two, we want to arrange them in columns instead of rows, right? So what we'll say?
Flex direction column and flex wrap
Flex direction
column.
column,
So no dash.
flex direction colon, sorry,
Column.
column, right? And they are not taking space, so what should we say?
Flex wrap.
Yeah, flex wrap, right? So because by default, once we say that this display is flex, so everything will try to sit in one row or one column, right? Without wrapping. But if we want them to take proper size, so we need to tell them that, hey, you guys, you better wrap. Got it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Any question? Okay, so let's press next. Now, we have this situation. So what should we do? So displays flex, and here, flex, actually they are saying now that instead of flex direction and flex wrap, we can use shorthand property, and that is flex flow, right? So it can combine these two, and instead of giving two properties, we can say flex flow,
Column wrap.
Column wrap.
column wrap. Column wrap.
No dash between column and wrap, sir.
No dash. Oh, yeah, you're right. So there is no dash here, right? So flex flow column wrap, right? Flex row first column and then space and then wrap. Okay, great. Okay, now, so what is the issue? They are sitting like spaces. With spaces, what is the issue? So display is flex wrap is wrap, right? And here we need to align the contents. So align contents. Was it align content? Sorry, align content. Flex. What was that? Flex
Start.
Right? So flex start. Why would they give it over here? Okay, anyways. Okay, and this is align content flex end, right? Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Align content flex end, right? Okay. Now what is this? So we need to put, now this is a little bit complicated, I believe. So what should we do now? Yes.
Flex direction, maybe
Flex direction what?
column.
Huh? Yes, please.
Flex direction column.
Flex direction column will work?
Let's see, sir.
I don't think so.
Column, I guess reverse.
Column reverse, right? ECTIN direction, COLUMN. So column is not working. Why not working? Working.
It's working.
Direction column is working, right? But we want column reverse,
Filter. Yeah, reverse.
right? And then, yes, please.
Align content.
Now it would be justify or align.
Justify.
It would be justify. Look, the flex direction is now downward. Sorry, from down to up, right? So basically, we want to align it perpendicular to this direction. So it would not be justify, it would be align. Always remember, whatever flex direction is, justify work in that direction and align work perpendicular to it, right?
Then
so
align.
currently, flex direction is, like this, down to up.
Yeah.
Right? So if we say justify content, so it will work in this direction. So, but we want to do it perpendicular to it. So here we'll say
Center.
align
Content center.
content center. Right, guys? Any question? Enter. Okay. Now, this is something which is, which is a good task for you. I will pause my recording here, and I will like to give you some time to do this yourself individually. And then I will ask, that how did you do it, and after some time. So please take your time and do it. I will keep on sharing my screen, right? Let me pause the video. Okay. So, okay, Bharat, how did you do it?
So I put flex flow, column reverse,
Flex,
flow,
flow, column,
reverse,
reverse, right? Okay.
and justify content.
Then you did justify content,
Center.
center. Okay.
And align content.
Align content. Align, okay. Justify, is it justify content? Yeah, justify items. Justify content, right? Align items, align items. Align items. Did you do it,
Yes,
Is it
sir.
working for you?
Yeah, it's
You said align contents.
yes, sir. Align content.
Align content. What is align content? Align content, there is no, okay, align content is also there. Yes.
It's there, sir. And
Yeah. Align items and align content. What is align content doing here? Okay, let's see. Align content. Yes.
and again, I did flex flow, wrap, reverse. Oh, in this space between.
Okay. Align content, space between.
Yes, sir.
Space between. It is probably not doing anything.
And again, I put in flex flow and in FlexFlow. Again.
Okay, anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who did it? Okay,
Uh,
Prithvi, you share with us. Yes, Prithvi, tell us.
Flex direction. The first one is flex direction.
Okay, flex direction.
Column reverse.
Okay, just a minute. Flex direction, column reverse. Okay,
Flex wrap. Wrap reverse.
flex wrap. Yeah, it is actually working. Flex wrap will work.
Yes.
What is that?
Wrap reverse.
Wrap
Wrap reverse.
Wrap. You said wrap reverse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So flex wrap reverse. Good.
Align content.
Align content.
Space between.
Okay. So align content is going to work perpendicular to the axis, right? So space, very good. Space between, right? And
Justify content.
very good.
Center.
Justify content
Center.
center. Right, very good. Very good, absolutely. This is how it should work. Right? It did not affect this thing, center thing, but it impacted this part over here. Very good, absolutely. So this is how we use flex. Right? This is how we use flex. So guys, here we have completely done all the layouts, all the possible layouts in CSS, right? So what we have done so far, we have done HTML, we have done CSS selectors, right? We know very well that how can we use CSS selectors. We have done CSS layouts, right? In CSS layouts, what did we do? We did the display thing, then we did the position, then we did the flex, we did the float, right? And then we did grid, and now we have done flex. Once you know all these basic tools, you can make any kind of beautiful layout. The rest is that how much space, what is the shading, what is the color, right? For that, this is something I cannot teach you. This is something for which you need to have an eye of a designer. Or you can use some, ready-made CSS. For example, you can use Bootstrap, right? So let me teach you a little bit about this thing today, that how can we use Bootstrap into our projects, right? So let's have like 5 minutes break so that you come with a fresh mind. And in 5 minutes, I will see you all in 5 minutes, and we'll discuss that how to use Bootstrap, right? So I will see you in 5 minutes. Take care. So if you look at my screen, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is the website. It is not bootstrap.com. Bootstrap.com is fake website. So, this is not the website we want to go. So this is a website, getbootstrap.com. So this is where, if you want, either you can download Bootstrap, right, and put it into your project and use it from there, right? Or you can simply keep it on the web as it is, right, and use it from there. So for that purpose, we can copy this link. If we want to use only CSS, But if we want to use JavaScript part also, we need to copy all three of them also. So since today I'm only using the CSS part of it, so I just copy this, Control C. Let me come over here. Let me make a new folder over here, new folder. Let me name it using Bootstrap, right? So Bootstrap is a CSS JavaScript library, right? Using Bootstrap. And we add a new file over here. Using Bootstrap 1, using Bootstrap 1.html, right? And let's put our basic skeleton using Bootstrap. Right, save it. Let's open it in our browser. Right. So where is that? Using Bootstrap, right? And here we have using Bootstrap 1, right? So using Bootstrap. So let's go to the get Bootstrap page and copy this link and paste it in the header. So if we want to give our own style, we must give it after this, right? So maybe another link here, and this is our style sheet. Our styles.cs, right? Why? Because if we want to modify it, we need to give it after the style sheet. So here we can give another file, our styles.css. So new file, our styles.css. Okay. Okay, since we have already given this library, so let's see the magic a little bit. So using Bootstrap was simple black, thing. Reload it. You can see that it has already taken some style, right? Because Bootstrap by itself is styling our H1 in a particular way, right? Hello, everybody. Now, if we want to use some styles from Bootstrap, right? We come over here. Google is our best friend. We come here. We say, for example, Bootstrap buttons, right? Bootstrap buttons. Okay, so we come get Bootstrap link, Bootstrap buttons, right? So for example, what button you want to have? So we have danger button, we have success button. So for example, if you want to have a primary button, so you can copy it. I'm sorry. Copy it and paste it over here wherever you want to have the button. So you can see that its class is BTN and BTN primary, right? Save it and reload it. Reload. Did we not save the file? button. No, we did not save the file. Save it. Come back. Reload it. And you can see that it has taken this beautiful button, right? Maybe you want to say submit over here. So you can come over here and modify it to submit. This is exactly you work with Bootstrap. You don't go and learn Bootstrap, right? This is exactly you should work Bootstrap, right? So for example, you want to come over here to the Bootstrap. Say for example, I want to use some Bootstrap Navigation Bar, right? So I come over here, I say Bootstrap Navigation Bar, right? So see, this is get Bootstrap link, navbar. We come over here and it is going to show us some samples of navbar, right? So just scroll over it. So just scroll over it and it will show us some examples. Yeah, for example, say this is some navbar you're looking at right now. It has a drop down also, right? It has various features. So this is the navbar, say for example, we want, right? So this is the nav tag from here up till here. We can copy it, copy, and you can paste it over here. Maybe HR, right? So this entirely is the navbar thing. So let's align it. I don't like to use this Bootstrap excessively, but just the deal is here is that I want to teach you that if you want to use Bootstrap, and if somebody asks you that, hey, do you know how to use Bootstrap? Yes, now you know this thing, that how to use Bootstrap, right? So save it and come back over here. Reload it. Now you have got this beautiful navbar. This drop down is not working because we did not copy the JavaScript part. If we get the JavaScript part also, say let me go over here and get the JavaScript part also. So let me get it all. Copy. Let me go over there in my code. And JavaScript tag is always placed towards the end. Paste it over here. Why is this coming down here?
Outside the body.
No, my dear, within the body. Within the body for sure. Save it. At least I always give it within the body. Okay. Save it and reload it. Yeah, but your thing is also making some sense. Let me try. So here now, you can see that it has started working. Right? Got it? So basically, if you want now, you can fix the things, you can put various links, over there. You can change the wording, whatever you want to do, but you have placed the navbar from Bootstrap. Got the idea, guys? So this is exactly how Bootstrap works. Whenever you have to give, put an item from Bootstrap, just Google it and just see whatever you want to get and just grab it and put it there. But if you want to make something custom that is not available, that you have to make yourself, and for that you can use the CSS knowledge I gave you in all these lectures. Got it, guys? Any questions so far? So if there is no question, I will stop here and I will continue my discussion in tomorrow's lecture, and from tomorrow on I will start JavaScript. Right? Excited about it? Okay, great. So I will see you all tomorrow. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Welcome.
Sir.
Yes.
So
Just give me a minute, please.
yes, sir.